the explosions we've been seeing in machine learning and success really sort of dating, a lot of people put it at around 2012, with big jump in the success of the machine learning systems developed at the University of Toronto, I might point out, with image recognition. Is this a cat? Is this a dog? So can you say a little bit about how this explosion in machine learning is now what's putting pressure on this hypothesis that folks, don't worry about, as long as we've got only the routine stuff is going to be taken by the machine.
That's right.
Why is non-routine work now at significant risk?
That's the key thing to note, which is that hypothesis leads you to quite an optimistic view, which is that you don't need to worry so much about automation, because the whole sort of refuge of non-routine activity that human beings displaced from routine activity can retreat to. And there's this firm boundary between these two types of activity, and automation can't reach across it. And so you can see how that leads to, in theory, quite an optimistic view that there is these things that machines just simply cannot do. Now, what do the tasks of driving a car, making a medical diagnosis, and identifying a bird at a fleeting glimpse have in common? Well, these were all sort of canonical examples of non-routine tasks that were identified in this economic literature as being non-routine and so out of reach of machines. And yet all of these tasks can increasingly be automated. We have all major car manufacturers exploring driverless cars. There are countless systems that can make medical diagnoses, and there's even an app developed by the Cornell Laboratory of Ornithology that can tell you at a glimpse, if you give it a photo, a glimpse of a bird, what type of bird it is. Now, why the argument I make is that this wasn't a mistake on the part of economists. They were wrong, and the reason why they were wrong is the reason that you're setting out, and it's important, which is that the nature of these technologies has changed. It's no longer necessary to follow some top-down explicit articulation of the very particular rules that a human being might follow. So, take medical diagnosis. Team of researchers at Stanford recently developed a system which can tell you whether or not a freckle is cancerous as accurately as leading dermatologists. How does it work? Well, it's not trying to copy the particular rules that a doctor might follow. It knows, it understands nothing about medicine at all. Instead, it's got a database of, I think it's about 130,000 past cases. And it's running what's essentially a pattern recognition algorithm through those cases, hunting for similarities between them and the particular photo of the troubling lesion in question. It's performing the task in a very unhuman way, based on the analysis of more possible cases than any human doctor could hope to review in their lifetime. And so, the important point here is that it no longer matters that a human doctor cannot articulate exactly how it is that they might make a medical diagnosis. Through advances in data storage capability, in processing power, and in algorithm design, these systems are now able to perform these tasks in fundamentally different ways. And so what this means is that a whole realm of non-routine activity that we thought until recently it was out of reach because of this dominant understanding of machine capabilities and limitations, that turns out not to be right. And it's particularly interesting for white-collar workers because many of these tasks, non-routine tasks that are increasingly being automated, are found there. Things that require faculties like creativity or judgment or even empathy from us. You often find these non-routine activities in those occupations. And traditionally we think of automation being a blue-collar work story. It's not at all. It's also a story that's unfolding in the world of white-collar work as well.